sort of been new to everybody but me. You know, my regular glasses, I was working out and I broke them while I was working out. And these are my fun glasses that everybody likes. So maybe they'll be my regular glasses.
Funny, you should have broken yours because I broke mine on yesterday.
Did you? You always have to have a couple of pairs.
Extra pairs. Yep.
Well, we have a quorum, so I'm happy about that. Thank you. Does anyone from the department know if Commissioner Cox is going to join us today? This is Bob McKenna calling me, just a moment. Kamal, Bob needs to speak with you. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Kamal. First of all, I sent you like the roster for the meeting, but we're having some computer problems here. Can you get Terrence Johnson's computer online for him? I mean, he's trying to get in, but you have to follow him in.
I have the project people we promote when the project is being called, but I just promoted him. So people who are still waiting as attendees, they will keep waiting until the project is called, and then then at that time we promote.
Can you put? I'm going to be sitting at Terrence's computer.
Oh, I gotcha. He's promoted now. He's in.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, it's a good thing I hadn't turned my phone off.
I gave Bob my number, so I don't know. I'll email him again so you can call me.
We'll wait just another minute.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. All right. We have Bob, so we're good to go. And we have a quorum, so let's get started. Good afternoon and welcome to the March 8th regular meeting of the Community Development Commission of Chicago. I am Gwendolyn Hatton Butler, Chair of the CDC and the host of today's virtual meeting. On March 4th, 2022, Governor Pritzker renewed his executive order proclaiming that all counties in the state of Illinois are in a disaster area. Section 7 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act allows the CDC, along with other city boards and commissions, to host virtual meetings during this COVID-19 public health emergency, provided that certain conditions are met. One of these conditions is that the chair of this commission determines that an in-person meeting on the scheduled meeting date would not be practical or prudent. To ensure that today's virtual meeting meets all conditions of the Open Meetings Act, I am hereby making the determination pursuant to Section 7E2 of the Act that due to the COVID-19 public health emergency, an in-person meeting would not have been practical or prudent today. Therefore, in accordance with the Commission's emergency rules, this meeting is being held virtually on Zoom and can be viewed live via the Commission's website. A court reporter is present today to record the proceedings. Commissioners, you have all been designated as panelists, which means that you will be able to control your microphone. Please remember to place your microphone on mute unless you need to speak. If you want to be recognized by the chair, please activate the raise your hand feature and you will be called in order. The agenda for today's meeting was posted on March 2nd, both online at the CDC's website and physically in City Hall. I will now begin the meeting with the call of the roll. Commissioners, when your name is called, please turn your microphone on, respond by saying present, and please also indicate that you can hear me. Vice Chair Newsom.
Here, and I can hear you.
Secretary Wheat. Commissioner
Hello?
Brooks.
I'm sorry, I'm on a Zoom call, and that's what happened. I had to respond that I was present.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Brooks.
You still at home? Yes.
Vice Chair Newsom, we can hear you on your other call.
Hold on just 1 second, please.
Vice Chair Newsom.
I'm sorry, I am doing double duty, which I should not be doing.
Okay, if you could place us on mute while you take care of that other matter. that'd
Thank
be
you.
great.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's okay. Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Buford.
Here, and I can hear you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cepeda. Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Here, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Cox.
Here, I can see you and hear you.
Commissioner Curtis.
Here, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez. Commissioner Griggs. Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Trevino.
Present, and I can hear you.
Chair Butler is here. We have a quorum. The first item on our agenda requires approval of the minutes from our previous meeting held on February 8th, 2022. The commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes, and if there are no corrections, I am looking for a motion to approve. Do I
So
have a?
moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, was that Commissioner Buford?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Buford. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, all votes are to be conducted by roll call so that each member's vote on each issue can be identified and recorded. Commissioners, if you were not present at the February 8th meeting, please indicate that you abstain on this motion when your name is called. Vice Chair Newsom.
Yes.
Secretary Wheat. Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Buford.
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda. Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Abstain, was not present.
Commissioner Curtis.
Abstain.
Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez. Commissioner Griggs. Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino.
Yes.
And Chair Butler abstains. The motion passes. The public was given an opportunity to provide written comments up to 24 hours prior to the start of this meeting through the CDC email address, cdc@cityofchicago.org. Bob McKenna, can you let us know if there were written comments in the CDC mailbox that we've received?
There were no written comments. There were people who asked to speak.
Okay, great. And are those people tech support? Do you have a list of those that have been asked, that requested the opportunity to speak?
Madam Chair, I don't, but if there are people under attendees and if there is any public speaker, they can raise their hand and I can let you know their name.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, Kamal, just let everybody in that raises their hand.
So the CDC's emergency rules allow for members of the public wishing to comment on an agenda item to do so by registering in advance at the CDC's mailbox up to 24 hours before the start of today's meeting.
We have Marvin Noriega.
Kamal, please just wait one moment, please. I have to finish.
Sorry.
I will let you know. And I need my grid view back? I need to be able to see the entire screen. The gallery. Okay, just please leave it on the gallery for now. The CDC's emergency rules allow for members of the public wishing to comment on an agenda item to do so by registering in advance at the CDC's mailbox up to 24 hours before the start of today's meeting. Following each staff presentation, the chair will also call upon members of the public who have used the raise your hand feature to be recognized by the chair. However, due to the capacity limitations of the available technology, a limit of 15 members of the public may be called upon by the chair to speak and will be limited to 3 minutes per agenda item. So I will now call in turn the list of people who signed up to speak. So Bob, because I don't have that list, I need for you to please, call the name of the individual, and then I need tech support to begin the timer once the individual begins speaking. And we're going to call everyone that's on your list, Bob, whether or not they have their hand raised, just so that we don't miss.
We have Andrew Scott, Scott Goldman.
No, let's start with Andrew Scott. It's Andrew Scott on. Andrew Scott, if you're on, if you could raise your hand. Okay, I see him, Andrew Scott. So please turn on Mr. Scott's mic. Thank you so much. And Mr. Scott, you can begin.
Madam Chair, I actually represent the applicant in the first matter here on behalf of the Congress Theater. I didn't sign in to speak in advance.
Okay, thank you. So we will, if you have comments following the staff presentation, you can make them at that time. Thank you so much. Bob, who's next on your list?
The next 3 names are all in the same situation. Scott Goldman, John Reynolds, and Tally Listener.
All right, so they are part of the first team's presentation. So we will wait to hear their comments, if any, during following the staff report. And I see Marvin Noriega has activated the raise hand feature. So, Mr. Noriega?
Yes.
Would you, please begin your comments, and thank you so much.
Okay, give me 1 second. Thank you.
Mr. Noriega, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Marvin Noriega. I'm here to speak to you about the Congress Theater redevelopment. I'm a hospitality worker at the Western Michigan Avenue. I worked there as a laundry attendant for around 9 years, and I'm a proud member of United here Local 1. I know the difference between having a low quality hospitality job and a good, truly hospitality job. Before I got my good hospitality job, I was working in a food service job. I struggled to make ends meet and eventually had to drop out of school to pay my rent. Now with my good hospitality job, I am saving to go to college and can focus on my future, like going to college and work in the future, my future in school, and setting up for working people in the community. I have good health. I have a great health insurance through my job, and I don't pay anything for it. It has improved my quality of life because I can now go afford medication and to see the doctor without hurting my wallet. I grew up in the northwest side in Hermosa. For the last several months, I have been talking to the residents about the Congress Theater redevelopment. I want to be clear. We don't want jobs. We want good jobs. Our community deserves no less. The hospitality workers who will be welcoming concert goers and serving food and pouring beverages, and ensuring great guest experience at the Congress Theater deserve to have good jobs. They deserve to make enough to keep up with the rent, pay the property tax, and stay in the neighborhood that they grew up in. They should be able to go to the doctor while worrying they can't afford it. But without good job commitments from the Congress Theater developer, we can be stuck with low wages, poor benefits, jobs in Logan Square. With this development, we will likely see property tax and rent increase. Without good paying jobs, people won't be able to afford that and eventually will have to move out of the neighborhood they grew up in. The community deserves better. If the developer wants 20 million in taxpayers, we deserve a real commitment to create good hospitality jobs for the community. Without a good job commitment, I urge you to vote no on the Congress Theater redevelopment. Your decision today will impact the community for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Noriega. Appreciate your comments. Bob, is there anyone else that signed up to speak? I want to make sure that we accommodate everyone.
That is the only person who signed up to speak who is not part of a development team.
Great, and I don't see any raised hands, so given that, we will move to the first agenda item. For our first item of new business, the Department of Planning and Development is requesting authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with BR Congress Owner LLC for the redevelopment of property located at 2135 North Milwaukee Avenue in the Fullerton, Milwaukee Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to recommend to the City Council of the City of Chicago the designation of BR Congress Owner LLC as developer. William Grams will present the staff report on behalf of the Department of Planning and Development. William, you may begin your presentation when ready.
Hold up. Is that showing up for everybody?
Not bad. I'm ready for a break here. I'm in business school and my last papers.
Is that showing up for everybody?
A week and a half of freedom.
Yes.
Yes, we can see your cover page.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, Chair Butler and members of the commission. For the record, my name is William Grams with the Department of Planning and Development. With me today, I have Tim Jeffries and Terrence Johnson with DPD and Scott Goldman and Andrew Scott from the development team. The resolution before you requests a recommendation to the City Council to designate BR Congress Owner LLC and its affiliate entities as the developer for the Congress Theater. It also requests authority for the Department of Planning and Development to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with the developer. The Congress Theater is located at 2135 North Milwaukee Avenue, which is in the Logan Square community area, the Northwest Planning region. The alderman is Daniel Espada. This district was established in 2000 to help rehabilitate existing buildings, assemble and prepare land for new uses, and install streetscape elements that reinforce neighborhood identity. The Congress Theater was built in 1926 and is a Chicago landmark. The theater was shut down in 2013 and has been vacant since. The developer intends to restore the theater as a state-of-the-art live music venue to be operated by AEG, renovate theater offices and the retail and restaurant storefronts along Rockwell and Milwaukee Avenues, build out office and meeting space for nonprofits and community groups in the Rockwell Avenue building, and develop 20 residential units, of which 14 will be affordable in the Milwaukee Avenue building. The total project cost is $70.4 million, and the TIF request is for $20 million. The estimated timeline to complete is 18 months. Here is an aerial view of the theater Here's an aerial view of the neighborhood. The project site is located at 2135 North Milwaukee, which is roughly midway between the Western and California Blue Line stations. The theater is also accessible via the number 56 Milwaukee Avenue bus. Here's an aerial view of the theater looking north. Here's an aerial looking to the east. And here is a picture showing the current condition of the theater. The theater is in a planned development that was established in 2019 under a different developer. The project scope has since changed and an amendment to the PD is needed to allow for additional residential units. This project will only be taking place on sub-area A of the planned development. Sub-area B was part of the previous iteration, and there are currently no plans for that lot. This slide shows the building elevation along Milwaukee Avenue and then Rockwell Avenue. Here are renderings of what the theater will look like once complete. BR Congress owner LLC, along with its affiliate entities, will be the developer for the project. These entities will be created by Baum Revision, a well-known Chicago-based developer that has completed historic renovation with TIF assistance in the past. Baum is currently leading the Ramova Theater rehab project. Additionally, previous Baum-led projects include the Green Exchange at 2545 West Diversey Avenue and the Margie's Candies building at Milwaukee and Western. In addition to equity, conventional debt, and TIF, the developer will also be utilizing historic tax credits as part of the capital stack for this project. The city, through DPD, intends to provide the developer with the TIF assistance in an amount not to exceed $20 million. The city funds will be provided from the Fullerton-Milwaukee TIF District's area-wide increment. The first $10 million will be paid out upon the issuance of the certificate of completion, estimated to be at the end of 2023. The second $10 million will be paid at the 1-year anniversary of the certificate or in December 2024, prior to the expiration of the district, which it expires at the end of that year. Alderman Daniel Laspada endorses the project and is available to speak in support. DPD has thoroughly reviewed the proposed project, the qualifications of the development team, and the need for public assistance. DPD recommends that the Community Development Commission approve the designation of BR Congress owner LLC and affiliates as developer for the 2135 North Milwaukee Avenue, so that the project can advance to City Council. Thank you, and I can take any questions.
Great, thanks so much, William. I'd like to recognize Alderman Daniel Laspada. Alderman, thank you so much for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hetten-Butler. And thank you to the commission for taking up this project today. I actually live maybe 3 or 4 blocks from the Congress Theater. During my time in office, it's one of the most frequently asked questions. What is happening with this building? How can we activate this in ways that activates this whole corridor? Because if you were looking at Mr. Graham's visual, you could see there are a number of vacant lots, vacant storefronts along this particular stretch of Milwaukee. We truly believe that this development, this RDA, will in the best sense have a catalytic impact on the rest of this stretch of Milwaukee Avenue. I will also tell you, I bring an interesting context to this, which is before I was alderman, when I was just a resident of the First Ward, I was at the community meetings where the zoning change, where the RDA were being considered. And it was my question to ask at the time, what are the community benefits that come from doing a redevelopment agreement here, from having a TIF subsidy? And at the time, myself and the rest of my neighbors were given the really frustrating answer of, well, reopening the theater is the community benefit. And of course, that is true. That's not untrue. But if we're going to make a TIF allocation of public subsidy, it should solve public problems. It should be expressing the values of who we are as a community and where we want to be going as a community. And I'm really grateful that DPD has heard this, that the developer has heard this, and that the Community Development Commission has a chance to hear this. Because to have an opportunity for a project where I think nearly 70% of the housing units are going to be affordable is incredible. The opportunity that we have to create thousands of square feet of affordable commercial space for nonprofits and community groups at risk of displacement from our area is a nearly unprecedented opportunity in front of us. But we get to do all of this with a developer with a specialization in adaptive reuse. And again, I can say this from history, because when I moved into Logan Square, when it was first becoming a member with the Logan Square Neighborhood Association, the first project I was ever involved in as a leader was also with Bomb Revision, with their work at the Green Exchange, which at the time was the Frederick Cooper Lamps factory. When they were able to step in as that factory was closing, when instead of just getting 200 more luxury condominiums, we got a new economic development space that has created hundreds of new jobs. I knew from that work to now that we had a partner that with the right resources could really bring an incredible project to fruition. So I'm really grateful for that work. I'm grateful for your consideration today. I will say to Mr. Noriega, who spoke with us earlier, the concerns that I had heard earlier from Unite Here were related to a previous planned development where there was consideration of a boutique hotel on that space. Now that that has gone away, I'm definitely open to conversations about how we can make sure the jobs created by the theater are the best jobs that they can be. But I would really also encourage you, for what is in front of us, to support this resolution and allow us to move forward with the redevelopment agreement. Thank you very much.
Alderman, thank you so much for your comments. Greatly appreciated. Commissioners, in addition to the DPD representative, we have several members of the development team to help answer your questions about this agenda item. Specifically, joining us today are Andrew Scott, Scott Goldman, John Reynolds, and Hallie Listener. To answer questions that you may have. Do we have any questions for the city staff? City staff for the development team? If you have questions, please raise your hand. Commissioner Trevino.
Hi, I have two really quick questions. So Mr. Marvin Noriega had some concerns over jobs. Do we know how many jobs will be created due to this project? That's question number one. Question number two, will there be any MBE, WBE goals for this project?
The project is estimated to create 125 new permanent jobs and 200 temporary construction jobs. The MBWB requirement is 26 and 6.
And just as a follow-up question for the department, this developer is known to the city. Have they in the past met all city requirements?
Yes, I have a good history with them.
I'm sorry, could you, for purposes of the record, could you state your name?
William Graham's DPD. Yes, we have a good history track record with this developer.
Thank you. Commissioner Curtis?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to better understand the project. Is this just the theater, or are we looking at housing units included with the project?
Well, okay. William Graham's DPD. So the project consists of the theater, storefront retail along Milwaukee and Rockwell, some commercial office space upstairs, and then 20 residential units, 14 of which will be affordable at various AMI levels.
And do we have any more information about the housing units that are being offered? You said at various levels.
There will be at different tiers between 40 and 80% AMI affordability.
Thank you.
And William, this is Commissioner Butler for the record. Are those rental units or are they for sale units?
These will all be rental units.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Thomas, I think you're on mute.
Thank you. Two questions. The first is, of the 125 permanent jobs, are they all full-time or is that full-time equivalent?
William Graham's DPD, those are full-time equivalent, but if the developer team would like to give any more detail, I invite them to.
Scott, would you like me to take that or do you want to go ahead and speak to it?
Oh, you can take it. Go ahead.
So, Commissioner, the jobs.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We need to. Yes, thank you.
For the record, Andrew Scott with the law offices of Dyke and McGossett, here on behalf of the developer. So this is going to be, as you heard before, there are different, there are different components to this project. We have the theater, we have about 13,000 square feet of retail, and then we have the local community-based affordable commercial space, office space. And so we don't know exactly, what are the retailers going to look like now? I mean, I think, Scott and his team have a lot of experience in the area. They're hoping, at least on the retail front, that it's going to be, local businesses, unique businesses that really kind of capture the essence of the community and the spirit of the community. And then you've got the theater jobs that, range all across the board in terms of putting on live shows, events. So that's kind of the array of the jobs. Kind of at this point, it's difficult to go into more detail right now until the actual operations firm up and we know, sort of across the board who's going to be operating there.
I'm wondering now, I mean, you went past my question, so I'm now wondering, how did you come to 125 as a number?
So the figures are largely based on the theater that they think are going to be a combination of about 100 jobs. That was based on what AEG's estimate was several years back. And then it's basic estimates of 13,000 square feet of retail. What does that generally entail? And so that's how we come to the 125 number. Again, these are estimates, as I said, without knowing. Somebody like a restaurant is going to have kind of a higher number than perhaps a retailer or a small office, a therapist or something like that, where it might just be one or two makers in a space, for example.
Thank you. The second question, Madam Chairman, was regarding the plans. I was wondering if we could share the screen again and show us where the residential is related to the retail and the theater. I can't see the residential on the plans that I look at.
So William, can you share the screen?
Yeah. They will, William Graham's DPD. The the residential units will be in the Milwaukee Avenue building and the upper floors of the Milwaukee Avenue building in this area, if you can see my cursor.
I see that. And then you gave us a development plan, a site plan. And is it on the top of the theater?
It will be the upper floors here in this building, in this Milwaukee Avenue building. And this is the theater
Okay. Yeah.
component here.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Thomas, additional questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you. So this is Commissioner Butler. I have questions for the development team. Can you, given the 18-month construction period, can you tell us, how far along and who is on the development team in terms of actual contractors, architects, and other service providers?
Yeah, certainly. So my name is Scott Goldman. I'm with Balmer Vision. Thank you for having us today. So the architect is Woodhouse Tanucci, which was the architect that had worked on this project in its previous iteration and worked very closely with AEG. Contractors, we're going to go out to various contractors that are qualified and capable of doing a project of this size. And we are currently under construction on the Ramova Theater. And McHugh is the contractor on that project. And that project's progressing well. So they will certainly be a candidate as part of the process, but we'll go through a formal bid process in our contractor selection.
Thank you. Any other vendors of note?
I don't think so.
Providers of note?
I don't think so at this time. For historical projects like this, there are particular specialties that'll be involved with restoration of plaster and items of that nature. But all that will be determined as we're a little bit further in the construction documents and so forth.
Thank you. Are there other questions from the commission? If there are no further questions or comments, we will now call the item to a vote. The resolution before us recommends that the CDC approve the Department of Planning and Development's request for authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with BR Congress Owner LLC for the redevelopment of property located at 2135 North Milwaukee Avenue in the Fullerton, Milwaukee Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with BR Congress Owner LLC for the redevelopment of property located at 2135 North Milwaukee Avenue in the Fullerton, Milwaukee Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area. Do I have a motion?
So moved by Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Do I have a second?
Second.
And that was Commissioner Buford?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Buford. So I will now call the item for a vote. Vice Chair Newsom.
Yes.
Secretary Wheat. Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Buford.
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda. Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis.
I would have preferred to know more about the residents that are being developed and a little more information. So I'm not opposed to it, but I'm going to vote no.
Thank you, Commissioner Curtis. Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez. Commissioner Griggs. Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino.
I vote yes.
And Chair Butler votes yes. The motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For our second item of new business, the Department of Planning and Development is requesting authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with BUILD Incorporated for redevelopment of the property located at 5100 West Harrison in the Harrison Central Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to recommend to the City Council of the City of Chicago the designation of BUILD Incorporated as developer. Beth McGuire will present the staff report on behalf of the Department of Planning and Development. Beth, you may begin your presentation when ready.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Beth McGuire, Project Manager with the Department of Planning and Development. I'm here today to request the approval of Build Inc. as the developer for 5100 West Harrison. With me today is Adam Alonso, Executive Director of Build, and I believe Alderman Taliaferro will be on as well. The project is located at 5100 West Harrison in the Austin community area in the 29th Ward. This is in the Harrison Central TIF, and BUILD stands for Broader Urban Involvement in Leadership Development. I'm sorry, the slides aren't. Sorry, so project overview. BUILD is a community service provider with a focus on working with at-risk youth for over 50 years. The project involves the rehabbing of their current 10,000 square foot space and adding another 39,000 square feet of space. The facility will greatly increase their ability to serve children. Now they can serve about 80 to 100 children a day. And with this big renovation and addition, they'll be serving almost over 2,000 children a day. As you can see from the map, BUILD is located near the intersection of Harrison and Laramie, right off the Eisenhower Expressway. BUILD partners with local schools to mentor children and provide opportunities for involvement in safe activities. The yellow outline shows the parcel belonging to BUILD. They purchased it in 2011. And these pictures show what the site currently looks like from Harrison Avenue. And the entire site is about 60,000 square feet, and the zoning is a B3-2. The slide shows the proposed site plan. The project has been in the works for quite some time. After a robust fundraising campaign, BUILD commenced construction in August of 2021. The project will be complete in the fall of this year and is about 1/3 completed. This shows the current building versus the addition, which will connect to it. During the construction process, BUILD has relocated temporarily to 4 locations: Michelle Clark High School in Austin, Bethel New Life in Austin, and Austin Community Family Center, and also has an office in Humboldt Park. Here's another rendering showing again the current versus new space. The existing building, the 10,000 square foot single floor building, will host a performance space, an art studio, a maker's lab, a music studio, music production room, wood shop, staff offices, and 2 meeting rooms. In the new addition, which is the 3-story portion of the building, that will be about approximately 40,000 square feet. The building will include 3 stories of usable space featuring a gym, a community meeting room, a track, a fitness center, game room, tech center, training rooms, counseling rooms, and open youth gathering spaces and staff offices and meeting rooms as well. Here's another view of the project upon completion from Harrison and Laramie. And here's the main entrance, and this will all be accessible, of course. The project will cost approximately $21 million and is being funded by several sources in addition to TIF. They have a state grant, a lot of private and corporate donations, and they're also leveraging new market tax credits. The $2.5 million grant will come in 2 installments of $1,250,000 each. The first payment will be made at the issuance of the certificate of completion, which is estimated to be the end of 2023 or 2022 or beginning of 2023. And the second payment will be made at the 1-year anniversary of the certificate of completion, which, as we said, could be happening in early 2023. And that is the project. I'm here for any questions you may have. Thank you for your time. And I believe Alderman Taliaferro is here and would like to say a few words on behalf of the project.
Great, Beth, thank you so much. And Alderman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Please, you have the floor.
Thank you again, Madam Chairman and members of the commission. It's indeed an honor to be able to speak with you this morning, or I believe afternoon now, on a community changing project. And it's not often an underserved community can bring in such a project that can change the lives of young men, women, and children in a community. And I just like very briefly just to speak about Build. As Mrs. McGuire said, for 53 years, almost my entire lifetime, Build has lived on the foundation of and a motto of providing hope in the lives of young men and women, changing futures for young men and women, and just building the lives of young women, men and women in our community. And I can honestly tell you that their success is immeasurable on the things that they have done in the Austin community. And I think this project for me is so important because every single day, the lead in on the news is about the murder of someone on the South Side or West Side. And it sells papers and it elevates viewership. But I believe organizations like Build on the South Side and West Side has opened the page of a new book. And that's a book that's going to change the narrative on how we lead in with our news and how we generate revenue through our papers. It's now going to start saying that we are providing opportunities for those living in our communities. And so it's with great pleasure that I wholeheartedly support what Build is continuing to do in our community. And I look forward to this project because when Anthony Bill down in the 9th Ward put up a community center in his ward, I drove all the way south. I filled my tank up, got out MapQuest because I had never been so far south. And I looked at, and I say that facetiously, but I looked at what what Anthony Bill, Alderman Bill was bringing to his community that was going to change lives. And I literally, for the first time, I was jealous of a project. And I said, we need that in our community in Austin, in Lawndale, and Garfield. And that's what Build serves. It serves the west side of Chicago, not just the 29th Ward, but they have been changing lives on the west side. And I'm very proud not to be jealous of what Alderman Bill has brought to his community, but to be proud of that and to be proud of what Build has done for the west side. So thank you so much, Adam Alonzo, the executive director, Bradley Johnson for his continued heartfelt efforts and love for Austin. I can't thank Maurice enough and his team over at DPD and this commission for helping to move this project forward. And as always, it's really good to see our aldermen continuing to serve the city. So it's good to see you, Alderman Thomas. And thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to speak on regard to this project.
Alderman Taliaferro, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Chair.
We appreciate your presence. Now, commissioners, in addition to the DPD representative, we also have Adam Alonzo from Bill to help answer your questions about this agenda item. Do we have any questions for city staff or the development team? Commissioner Cox.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to congratulate again the alderman and Mr. Alonzo for your work through Build. It is very inspiring, and to hear the alderman speak, you realize just how significant your contribution has been. Because I'm not familiar with how you have historically served at this location relative to like membership, fees, other things that people are expected in order to take part in your program. Could you sketch out a little bit how you operate relative to community membership in the facility, et cetera?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Cox. Thank you, Chair Butler. And of course, thank you, Alderman Talaferro. This is Adam Alonso, Executive Director for Build. So our services are entirely free to the community. Young people come to our programs and services because they like the programs we offer, and they come by word of mouth. We also have deep relationships with schools, community partners, the police department, our courts, both juvenile and adult. And so we will get referrals for our programs and services that way as well. Typically, we are 365 days. We are open. We have programming that coincides with both school year and summer. We offer everything from intensive mentoring to arts and music and programming to really help engage kids in some new activities that they hadn't done before. Sports is always a hook. We do have programs that are intentionally targeted to young women, as well as clinical mental health support. And our mobile mental health unit, which launched last summer, which goes out into the community block by block to meet with people for triage and mental health support. So our services are at no cost to the community.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing service, and now and it's going to be in an amazing facility. The city is just thrilled to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas.
I just want to compliment the alderman on this development and bringing more community service buildings this way into Austin. Greatly needed, and I commend you, Alderman, for seeing that it gets done.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Cox, your hand is up.
It was lowered, sorry.
Okay. Are there other questions from members of the commission? This is Commissioner Butler. I just have a question for Mr. Alonso. Can you just speak a bit more about where your organization receives its funding?
Sure.
Provide all of these wonderful services.
Sure. Adam Alonso, Build. We receive our funding from a variety of sources. About 40% of our budget is government, and that's a mix of cities, state, and county. And the other 60% is made up with foundation, individuals, corporate, and events that make up the other part of our fundraising. So we typically do not have more than 40% of our funding from state government.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner.
Are there other questions from members of the commission? If not, I will call the item for a vote. The resolution before us recommends that the CDC approve the Department of Planning and Development's request for authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with Build Incorporated for the redevelopment of property located at 5100 West Harrison in the Harrison Central Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to recommend to the City Council the designation of Build Incorporated as the developer. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Thank you. So moved by Commissioner Curtis. Do I have a second?
Second.
I think I saw Commissioner Trevino. Is that you?
Yes,
All right.
that's correct.
Thank you so much. We're going to give it the second to Commissioner Trevino. Thank you.
Okay.
I will now call the item for a vote. Okay, Vice Chair Newsom.
Yes.
Secretary Wheat. Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Buford.
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda. Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez. Commissioner Griggs. Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino,
Yes.
and Chair Butler votes yes. Congratulations, the motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Excuse me, Madam Chairwoman.
Yes.
The motion was made by Commissioner Butler, I believe.
No, I think I raised my hand. Bob.
I'm
you
sorry,
first. Yeah.
Buford, excuse me, Buford.
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis moved.
Oh,
Commissioner Trevino seconded.
No,
Okay.
Commissioner Curtis did not move.
No, it was moved by Commissioner Buford. That's what I thought.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that, clarification, Commissioner Curtis. I would now like to request a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
So moved,
So
Madam
moved.
Chair.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Anyone not want to adjourn? All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying yes. That was a unanimous yes.
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
participation.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care. Bye.
Bye.